For the first time in the 2025 Lumen Stock Car Invitational season, we are headed up to the Pacific Northwest, the home grounds of the league, and we are headed to the 5/8 of a mile oval up in Monroe, Washington, the Evergreen Speedway. And we have gone here a couple of times before. This is our third season going to this track. This is our second short track of the season. Iowa was the first one, although we've also went to Rockingham and Hillside that have short track like qualities, and Phoenix as well. So we've kind of been to a lot of short tracks, but officially this is our second short track race of the season, and it's going to be an exciting one for sure. I've compared this track a lot to North Wilkesboro in the past, and it's kind of a tamer North Wilkesboro. That's kind of how I feel about it. And this is season 4, race 13 of the season, and this is where North Wilkesboro used to be on the schedule. North Wilkesboro and Evergreen did swap places, so now North Wilkesboro is the third to last race of the season. So again, they kind of swap places on the schedule. Joined alongside me today is Josh Williamson. And Josh, it's been a while since we've had you for one of these LACI races. I know a lot has changed since Michigan of last year. But as far as the track itself, Evergreen Speedway, what are your experiences with it, and what are you expecting to see here today?
Haven't really seen much from this racetrack, so it's definitely going to be an interesting experience to say the least. It's good to see this track on the schedule, though. I don't know that it exists in the real world anymore. It used to host some truck races back in the 90s, early 2000s, and from what I've seen, those races were pretty exciting. We've got a great group of drivers here, certainly poised to put on one heck of a show tonight. I am very interested to see how this race goes down tonight.
Evergreen Speedway does still exist. ARCA West goes here
Oh,
every year.
cool.
So, yeah, the track's still up and running. It's the only NASCAR track in Washington, I think, unless the Tri Cities Raceway also has ARCA races. I'm not sure if they do or not. But anyway, another interesting aspect of this race is where our points leaders are starting, because all of them are starting 26th or worse. Corbin Taps is the highest up of them. Tim Berry having an uncharacteristically poor qualifying run. And Josh, if you're one of those drivers who's high up in points, and I'd like to focus specifically on the four that aren't Tim Berry, because Tim Berry comes into this race with a 94-point lead. But if you're one of those other four drivers, and you're looking to try and catch up to Tim Berry, and you're banking on him maybe having a bad race here today, what's the best strategy to get up to the front on a track like this?
Drive your competitor into the wall. No, but seriously, you've got to. I think most of the most of the things I would imagine is probably going to come from the pits. I don't know how it is particularly passing here, but I know it's not the easiest thing in the world at a track like this. You're going to need to probably win this race from the pits, whether by short pitting under a caution early on, trying to play the strategy game, but it's not the easiest thing in the world at a sort of flatter short track like this. So we're definitely going to see the bumpers come out, I would think. Anybody that gets super aggressive, there's going to be some hurt feelings. I would uh, not be surprised about that at all. And if you are at the top of the standings, well, just if you got someone that's hungry behind you, sometimes the best thing you can do just to keep your uh, car clean and out of the wall is to just get out of the way. But of course, you don't want to hemorrhage too many spots and give up too many points. And obviously, Tim Berry, his case, he hasn't finished below 13th this season. So he'd like to come out of here with another good run, as would a lot of drivers here tonight. But there's going to be some hurt feelings for sure, whether the bumpers come out or not at the end of this one.
Yeah, and the the drivers can definitely get very aggressive here. The most aggressive moment that I remember is when James Harvin started on the pole in the amateur series race here last year, and on lap one he got spun out on the back straightaway. It's his brother Michael Harvin who is going to be starting on pole here today, though, in the number 55 car, and alongside him is the 24 of Cooper Spur. Row number 2 is the 19 car of Jake Sidney, your Lumen 500 winner. He's been on a pretty good streak as of late. And alongside him is the 41 of Karina Willis Calloway. Row number 3 is the number 79 of Kobe Hollenbeck and the number 62 of Vinny Scholes, driving for the home team Pacific Racing, who's got 3 cars in this race. The 52 car, Ashley Blake, alongside the 8 of Darren Walker, a 2-time winner this season. Then it's the 45 car of James Harvin and the 13 of Damon Kirby with a nice qualifying run, looking to have just something go his way this season. Joanna Clark in the number 58, Shauna Everett in the number 57 make up the next row. Then it's Laken Herndon in the 39, who is the most recent winner at this racetrack, and the 1 car of Kevin DuPont, your defending champion. Holly Martin in the number 6, won at Rockingham early in the season, and the 50 of Jacob Lopez. And it's very interesting seeing these two in the same row because last week at Mosport, they were in the turn 3 tire barrier together. So interesting that they ended up starting alongside each other. Then it's the 29 of JB Chanot and the 66 of Tyler Landry, the most recent race winner, also the other 2-time race winner this season. Then it's the 99 of Akiya Tajima, who won the first race we ran at this racetrack. So Columbia Motorsports is 2 for 2 winning here, trying to make it 3 for 3. The 40 of Adrian Wheeler starts alongside him. Then it's Kaleo Connie in the 42, Kate Summers in the 92, the 81 of Jack Gino, and the 77 of JT Boyd, who has been on a big slide as of late. Corbin Taps in the 16, and the 32 of Paula Sasiqua, I believe making her 3rd start of the season. 2nd or 3rd. I remember she ran Phoenix. I think she might have run another race, but I don't remember which one. Then it's the 65 of Tamarin Bellinger and the 2 car of Rhea Whitcomb. The 3 of George Bryan and the 18 of Zach Dearman. Billy Smith in the 88, who's also been on a slide as of late, didn't even make the race last week, but he's made the race here today alongside the 11 of Tim Berry. Then it's Laurie Jackson in the 9 and Adrian Fiersten in the 27. And rounding out the field today is the 85 of Charlie McCarron. Your 2 DNQs for this race were Andrew Kreider and Rebecca Raymond. It's going to be a 109-lap race. I believe we're going to have a 2-stop race, although I'm not particularly sure. I have not run any test races as of recent, so we're just kind of going into this one a little bit blind, but we definitely could see some yellows. We saw quite a few of them in Season 2, and I think we saw 1 or 2 in Season 3 as well. So cautions are definitely on the table. That could mess with the strategy. There's definitely a bit of tire strategy in play here. Not as much as at North Wilkesboro, but it could definitely make or break your race if you end up on the right or wrong strategy.
Drivers, start your engines!
And the field will roll off the backstretch here at the Evergreen Speedway. Gonna make sure everyone is just fine. That was from the previous attempt, so we're all good. Josh, who do you think is going to win the race today?
I'm going to go a couple rows back. I'm going to pick the 79 of Kobe Hollenbeck. Comes in 17th in the championship standings, 163 points out, but looking to have a good run. Qualified extremely well here in Evergreen, and I believe Kobe Hollenbeck is set for a phenomenal run here tonight at the short track.
You're a Columbia Motorsports believer here. You think they're going to go 3 for 3. Well, here we go. Michael Harvin and Cooper Spur are going to lead them to the green flag, and we are underway here at the Evergreen Speedway.
Great launch by Harvin on the start into turn number 3, hugging that inside lane. It looks like pretty easily he's going to lead lap 1, already gapping back to 2nd place. Good lead so far for him.
Yeah, Karina Willis Calloway in 2nd right now. Cooper Spur already hemorrhaging spots on the outside lane. And of course, you don't want to be on the outside lane on a track like this, because it is definitely a one-group racetrack, as you can already see. Jake Sidney was able to find his way to the bottom pretty quickly, so he's going to be able to take advantage of that. Hollenbeck, though, going to slide into third, not going to lose too many positions. Further back, Ashley Blake, Vinny Scholes, and James Harvin all battling for position. Joanna Clark driving for Diamond Motorsports, and it's not been a good season whatsoever for Diamond Motorsports. But Joanna Clark has been pulling her weight here. She hasn't been like phenomenal this season, but she has had some pretty good runs. And I just think back to Iowa when she won the pole and finished in the top 10. That was the other short track we went to, so Joanna is proving to be good on the short tracks at least. And looking further back in the field, I'm curious to see where our... Oh, Shauna Everett just got punted up the track by Paula Sasikwa. They're going to be 3 wide off of turn 4. There's George Bryan on the bottom of that.
Peasant.
Caution is out.
Oh, caution.
We have our first caution of the race on lap 5. Adrian Frusin, Charlie McCarron has heavy damage.
Big damage.
Tamarin Bellinger has damage, and there's
Oh,
more going
several
on
cars.
over here. JB Chanot, Tim Berry might have gotten a piece of it, but Jack Gino and Corbin Taps definitely did, and that is not going to bode well for our drivers at the top of the point standings that started in the back. Cooper Spur is going to pit, but everyone else is staying out.
Imagine he's short pitting for fuel. That was huge.
Yeah, McCarron looks like she got the worst of it, her and JB Chanot, and I'm wondering if that was 2 separate incidents. Zach Dearman also has a ton of damage. So really just all of those drivers that we were talking about that started in the back just have tons of damage now. They were involved in whatever that was that brought out the yellow. And I did say we might get some yellows today. I wasn't expecting one this early, but there's roof damage on the 18 car. That's interesting.
Interesting to see with the replay exactly what did happen there. That was an all-out melee here early in this one. Race off pit road, very, very tight. Looks like the 81's going to beat out Tim Berry there.
Tim Berry looks fine, so he might have missed it, but all of his competitors seemed like they were involved, at least in some form, except for the 3 of George Bryan, who was ahead of it. And that's the kind of thing that's been happening over the last few weeks. It seems like everyone except Tim Berry has been getting involved in stuff. So that's interesting to see that play out here once again. But Berry's still in the back, so he's going to have to try and take advantage of that as well to try and extend his points lead further. But yeah, that was a rough deal for Zach Dearman and Charlie McCarron. I believe we've already had a few drivers retire from the race. Yes, McCarron is out, so she will start last and finish last in this race. That's about as bad as it gets. Adrian Pearson is out of the race, and JB Chanot is out of the race, and now Dearman has retired as well. So that took out 4 cars. So that was a significant accident, and judging from the skid marks, this started on the backstretch and made its way into turn 3. Well, first caution of the race out on lap number 7 of 109. We're going to show you the replay of what happened, and then we'll get back to the restart here at Evergreen. Well, the first caution of the race was a very big one. Tamarin Bellinger is going to get hooked by Zach Dearman here, and then hard impact into the inside wall for Bellinger and the 27 of Pearson, and we're not done either, as the 18 and the 85 take another hard hit into the outside wall. Dearman goes upside down. McCarron's going to go upside down. And it's no wonder that these two were out of the race. And that is not a sight that you normally see at all. 2 flipped cars upside down, especially not at a track like Evergreen. And yeah, that was a very brutal accident. And for 2 of our top 5 in points, an early end to their days. And, you know, that happened at the back of the field, and we're thankful that it did, because if that happened at the front, it could have been even worse. But, yeah, not a good day for Dearman or McCarron at all. Thankfully, both of them are okay. Everyone else in the wreck was okay. But it's just a nasty, nasty impact. And, again, not one you normally see at a track like Evergreen.
So watching again, full speed, Fearson's going to take a vicious hit to the inside as Bellinger comes across, and more trouble heading into 3. Double flip there. And honestly, the best thing for these guys, at least they didn't come to a full stop when they hit the wall up there. Honestly, the flipping helped to maybe make it not as solid of an impact as it could have been. But like Adrienne, there's no getting around it. Like, that is one of the hardest hits I've ever seen on a track this small. Uh, Somehow able to limp that thing around to the pits. Doubtful to continue, but humongous crash here in the early laps at Evergreen. But we're set for a barnstorming restart with Michael Harvin leading the way.
Welcome back here at the Evergreen Speedway, wrapping up lap number 9 of 109 under the yellow flag. 4 cars out of the race as a result of that accident. The 29 of JB Chanot, Zach Dearman, Adrian Ferson, Charlie McCarron. We have 1 damaged lap down car, Tamarin Bellinger, who's going to line up inside of the race leader Michael Harvin and could make things interesting here on this restart. The pace car is going to pull into the pits, and we are going to go back green here at the Evergreen Speedway. Michael Harvin has led every lap so far, and he will lead us off on the restart.
Not as good a launch that time, but I think the lap car had something to do with it. Here comes Karina Willis-Callaway down the inside in turn number 2. It's the run on the I side, though, so Michael Harvin for the moment. Now here comes Callaway down the inside, bringing the 19 of Jake Sidney with her. They're going to be side by side coming out of turn number 4. Sidney, I thought he was going to try to make it 3 wide, but stays in line on the inside. Callaway will get through. Sidney certainly going to have an opportunity, and the 55 of Harvin is not going to be happy at all with the 65 of Tamarin Bellinger.
Karina Willis-Callaway grew up around this area in Monroe, Washington, so she is the hometown driver here, so you know the fans are going to be liking seeing her out front. She's had a phenomenal season here for Connie Twins Motorsports, really has outdriven her equipment. She's 9th in points, and she is now up in front leading here at Evergreen, but she's under pressure from Jake Sidney, and here comes Sidney to the inside trying to make the pass for the lead. The rookie sensation, the Lumen 500 winner, is going to try and claim first here at Evergreen. Ashley Blake, who has been on a bit of a resurgence here ever since the Lumen 500, is in 3rd. James and Michael Harvin are battling each other for 4th. And don't look now, here comes the last winner at this track, Lakin Herndon in the 39. Also going to try and get past her pole sitter, and Harvin is bleeding spots up on the outside lane, but the top 3 have gapped those guys, and they're going to fight amongst themselves.
It's certainly going to be interesting to see if these guys 4th on back can catch back up. That's a healthy gap from the 52 to the 45, as still Harvin is on the outside there in the clutches of the 39 of Lakin Herndon. Herndon's going to move into the 5th position. Don't look now. Here comes Jacob Lopez and the 79 of Kobe Hollenbeck working his way back up. Goes to the outside. No, goes back to the inside. No, slips back to the outside and thinks back of it. Pulls back down to the inside just in front of Joanna Clark.
Oh, he used the bumper.
Up and run. Goodbye, Harvin.
And I'm going to point out Motor Racing Ventures having a very good day today. Their lowest running car is Adrian Wheeler, and he is in 10th. So all 4 cars in the top 10 right now, but Harvin has just been losing spots. And that's not what you want to see. And Jake Sidney is out of here. He's pulled out to a 2nd gap over Karina Willis-Callaway. James Harvin has caught up to Ashley Blake here for 3rd. We might be seeing a battle there soon. Here comes Jacob Lopez for 5th on Lakin Herndon. And Joanna Clark is trying to get by Michael Harvin as well. Once again, good run here for Clark so far. And Jacob Lopez will get into the top 5 after getting by the 39. And now the Columbia Motorsports teammates are going to race each other for 6th. Kobe Hollenbeck trying to pass Herndon here as we get to lap number 19. And car number 19 is still out in front.
He's going to be up front for a while. 1.3 seconds at a track like this seems like an eternity. Karina Willis-Callaway, a stout and steady 2nd right now. 52 is in the clutches. That's Ashley Blake. in the clutches of the 45, James Harvin in the number 45, and not too far behind Jacob Lopez there, 5th. Kobe Hollenbeck, my pick to win this race. They're still sitting in the 6th position. And is that a new skid mark there? I thought I saw some smoke going into turn 3, no caution. But 3 wide back behind, and on the outside goes Vinny Schultz. Inside is the 77 of JT Boyd. In the middle of it all is Lori Jackson.
Big slip there for Vinny Schultz. She's going to lose a couple of spots. Checking in on Tim Berry here. He is up to 25th, and he's battling George Bryan right now. So it's an interesting spot. He's 25th right now. Obviously, that's not good, and by far would be his worst finish of the year. But everyone around him is still behind him. And that's just, I don't know what to say about that. Ashley Blake, though, is catching up to Karina Willis-Callaway. It looks like Lopez has made his way up to 4th, passing his teammate, James Harvin. So a bit of swapping of positions up towards the front, and we might not be done with that either. But I tell you what, Jake Sidney is on rails right now. 2.2 seconds already on lap number 23. He has a very fast race car. Sidney is known for being pretty good on short tracks, so this isn't too surprising to see him up here, but to pull this big of a gap is really something that we don't usually see that much at Evergreen. But it's very impressive what he's done here. Battle for 4th continues between James Harvin and Jacob Lopez. Harvin will get under him, and he's going to try and pass him here in 3 and 4.
Going to be interested to see if Jacob Lopez can work that outside. Saw Harvin was able to make that outside work earlier. Pulls back ahead on the front straightaway into turn number 1. Firing it back to the inside is James Harvin. Kobe Hollenbeck not far behind, but James Harvin will get around the 50 of Jacob Lopez. Lopez not giving an inch just yet, not giving it up. Fires it back in turn 3 and 4, but now Harvin looks like will clear the 50. Here comes Hollenbeck taking a look, and Jacob Lopez shuts the door.
Looked like Hollenbeck was going to try and use the bumper there, but he wasn't able to. Either that or was hesitant to. We'll never know for sure what's going on in the head of him. But Karina Willis-Callaway still leading this parade of drivers from 2nd on back, as Jake Sidney's now pulled out to a 3-second gap. I mean, he's just absolutely circling the field. Just look at his fastest lap compared to all the others, and you can just see just how well this car is set up. And oh no, we've had an incident. Where's James Harvin?
No.
Oh, they're still crashing in the back.
Big
Akira
trouble.
Tajima's just spun out, and that's almost certainly going to bring out the yellow. Shauna Everett has heavy damage. Where on earth is James Harvin? Vinny Schultz.
Oh, Vinny.
Heavy damage. Where on earth is the 45? Oh man,
big damage on James Harvin.
Oh, he blew an engine. He blew an engine in the middle of the pack. And that is going to cause the big one here at Evergreen. I mean, there were I saw a lot of cars with damage from that.
That 45's been upside down, looks like.
Oh, and Paula Sesequa was involved as well.
Oh my gosh.
So that's 2 of the Pacific Racing cars. So that's unfortunate for the home team. Looks like Kate
65's
Summers.
a lap down, of course, so they'll stay out for this, at least for now. Well, lucky the next time through.
Lucky for Tamarin Bellinger, we do have the free pass here, so Bellinger will get back on the lead lap. Checking in on your race. Off pit road.
19, Jake Sidney.
Joanna Clark is going to move all the way up to... is she? I think she was in the accident, so probably not. Karina is going to come out in 2nd, and then Blake, and then Kevin DuPont, I believe.
And Jake Sidney's going to drive all the way to Sydney at this point. Oh, wait, he's not coming back in?
No, he's not. He's just reacting to the 65. Yeah.
He's going to drive all the way to Sydney at this rate, though. He has been flawless ever since he got to the front. Great pit stop there by the 19 crew. We'll see how he does on this restart.
The 9 of Lori Jackson, the 32 of Paula Sesequa, the 45 of James Harvin, the 57 of Shauna Everett, and the 62 of Vinny Schultz, all out of the race after what I can only assume was a massive pileup on the back straightaway. That all started when James Harvin blew his motor, and We're going to show you exactly what happened there, and then we'll get you back to the restart here at Evergreen. Second caution of the day, and James Harvin's motor expires from P4, and it's a mad dash to get around him for everybody else. He actually gets turned by his teammate, Jacob Lopez here. Joanna Clark piles in, and then all heck breaks loose as Kate Summers runs into it as well. Billy Smith, Paula Sisiqua, hard hits there for the 45, and then more. Lori Jackson, Shauna Everett, and then Vinny Scholes also piled in as well. All three Pacific Racing cars involved. Akia Tajima goes for a spin in turn number 3. I believe this part we saw, but yeah, that was a lot of cars that got damaged from that. Not all of them are going to be race ending, but quite a few are, including Paula Sisiqua and Vinny Scholes and Shauna Everett, because the black smoke of death's coming out of that car. And then we'll see. I guess we'll see for the rest, but and obviously James Harvin's day is done as well, because not only is his car wrecked, his motor's cooked as well. So that's unfortunate. You hate to see a mechanical failure from that far up the field, because a lot of the times it ends in chaos. And speaking of chaos, it looks like Darren Walker is not very happy with Cooper Spur. Not sure what all that's about, but I mean, it's a short track. Sometimes you just get random beeps like that, but quite a large wreck right there on the backstretch. And, that all started because of a mechanical failure. And, that's just an unfortunate circumstance of that happening, especially on a track as narrow and short as this one. And you just sometimes get stack ups because of that.
So first, James Harvin blows up like what FanDuel Sports Network did to Bally, gets tipped by the 50 of Jacob Lopez up into the middle of the racetrack. More cars try to take evasive action. Some make it through, most of them don't, and the track gets blocked. More cars pile in, and down the line, they still come together. There's a spinner there. That is the 99 of Akia Tajima. Gets together with the 57 of Shauna Everett. Multiple cars involved in a vicious accident on the back straightaway. The 62 of Vinny Scholes, heavy damage on the front of that car. She's more than likely going to fall out of the race as a result. But again, all that starting from the 45 of James Harvin, suffering a catastrophic engine failure coming out of turn number 2. And with that, the rest was history, and all hell broke loose.
Welcome back to Evergreen Speedway. We are wrapping up our second caution of the race on lap number 33. Jake Sidney is your leader. Karina Willis-Callaway is second. Ashley Blake, Kevin DuPont, and Jacob Lopez round out the top 5. And we lost 5 more cars from that accident. You see them right there, the 62, the 57, the 45, the 32, and the 9. But we've still got plenty of racing to go, and Jake Sidney will lead them back to the green. And we are back racing here on lap number 34. And once again,
Karina Willis-Callaway, fantastic restart.
Just like she did last time, she's on the bumper of Jake Sidney. She had
Karina Willis.
She had a great restart last time as well, and was able to get past Michael Harvin. This time, not quite able to get by Sidney immediately, but she really tried there in turns 1 and 2. Just did all but bump him out of the way, pretty much.
Wide goes the 1 of Kevin DuPont there. Jacob Lopez is going to get by. Kobe Hollenbeck in position to go to battle as well with the Fraternal Order of Eagles Chevrolet. Here comes the 40 down to the inside as well. Adrian Wheeler in position to get around the 1 of DuPont potentially. He's under fire from the 16 of Corbin Taps all over the backside of car number 40. Tim Berry, again, not too far behind. He started way back in the field. Here he is just outside the top 10, all over the backside of Holly Martin. Boot, potentially. Good Lord, Timmy, that's a teammate.
Didn't get to the scoot part, but he certainly tried it. And he might get into the top 10 here by passing Lakin Herndon, and you just can't keep him down for long. He missed both of the accidents. At least missed getting significant damage in both the accidents, and now he's up here. So Tim Berry just calm and consistent like he's been all season. But Jake Sidney still out in front here. Talking about calm and consistent, he really has run a perfect race so far as soon as he's gotten the lead. But Karina Willis-Callaway is not letting him get away this time. She is staying within the tire tracks of the 19. Ashley Blake not too far behind. These have been the top 3 cars for a majority of the race, and these look like the 3 fastest cars as of right now, so gonna keep an eye on them. Sydney has already won this season. Karina Willis-Callaway is riding a long winless drought that dates back to the Season 1 Daytona race. Ashley Blake is also on a winless drought that dates back to Season 2. So you know both of these 2 drivers in 2nd and 3rd would love to get by this number 19 of Jake Sidney and try and end that streak.
Oh, yeah. And we'll see if they'll be able to do that. Oh, man, Karina Willis-Callaway fired it in hard that time. Not as good of exit speed there. Ashley Blake could have an opportunity to close in a little bit there, and I believe she did. Runs a little wide in 1 and 2, though. Jacob Lopez, they're sitting in the 4th position, almost a second behind the 52 of Blake. There's Hollenbeck in the 5th position. Tim Berry slipped, but just back outside the top 10, by the way. 39 of Lincoln Herndon sequestered into the 10th position.
Ooh.
They're slipping backwards. Goes the 16 of Corbin Taps, not able to get to the inside. Here comes the 39 of Lincoln Herndon again. He'll get around for the 9th spot. Tim Berry's right there with a 55 of Michael Harvin all over the backside. Here comes Berry to the inside.
Corbin Taps is being way too aggressive right now. He's trying to use the bumper. He tried it on, again, his teammate, the 6 of Holly Martin. I'm not sure why. We're 3 wide now. Again, I don't know if the car's just not handling good or if he's just being too aggressive in the corners, but he's just not. It has not been a good few laps here for Corbin Taps. Damon Kirby looking for a good run here today for Checkered Flag Racing. He's 34th in points, so you know that he's going to want something good to happen, and he's done it again.
Oh, my goodness.
I don't know. Maybe the handling's just going away on that car because of the damage. I'm not sure what it is, but he's just not. He's not entering the corners right, and he's continuing to lose spots. Jack Gino's going to get past him as well. So yeah, Corbin Taps is slipping back.
He's not doing himself any favors at all. He's letting one mistake turn into a million. That's not a great showing there by Corbin Taps. He's going to slip way, way back through the field. But up ahead, it's an 0.8 of a second gap last time through. Up to Jake Sidney for Karina Willis-Callaway. Closed in 4/100ths that time. So now within 3/4 of a second with a 52, Ashley Blake waiting in the wings of Karina Willis-Callaway decides to pull a Corbin Taps.
Ashley Blake was oh so close to getting the win at Chicagoland. 1 lap away from victory. Just did not have the tires under her to hold off the 81 of Jack Gino and the 8 of Darren Walker. But she's looking like she's setting up for a pass here on Karina Willis-Callaway for 2nd. Just waiting to see when she's going to try and make that move. She's looking a lot faster than her. Maybe Karina Willis-Callaway was getting a little too aggressive with the tires on the first part of this run. Blake has not been able to get to the inside just yet, though, has not been able to mount a charge. And they're both keeping pace with the 19 of Jake Sidney better than they did in the last run, so they at least have that going for them. Blake's going to run a little wide in 3 and 4, possibly trying to set up something for 1 and 2, but it looks like Karina Willis-Callaway is going to get away for now. And it's pretty calm up at the front, as it has been for most of the race, but it's been pretty chaotic back here. Michael Harvin, despite damage on both sides of the car, is now up into the top 10, so a nice recovery for the 55. Tim Berry in 11th still. Jack Gino has heavy left side damage and is still up here in the top 15. Checking back in on some of our cars in the back, Tyler Landry, last week's winner, not having a good run here, and I don't even see any damage on his car, so he just has not been very fast today. And here you go for 2nd, Ashley Blake underneath Karina Willis-Callaway. This is going to help Jake Sidney extend his gap. Will Blake get the spot away from Karina? It looks like she will.
Yeah, Karina's best option now is to just fall into the tire tracks of that 52. It's still, we're just shy of halfway. Haven't been on these, I guess we've been on these tires for a good bit, enough to where they're going to be worn to heck by the time we get to pit road. But Karina Willis-Callaway has an opportunity to get back around the 52 of Ashley Blake. The question is, how hard do you want to push it for the rest of this run, and will you be able to? We'll have to see, but good gain there by Ashley Blake. And I was watching when Ashley Blake was still behind Karina Willis-Callaway, entered low, come out a little wide in the middle of the turn, get back down to the apex, and come back out. I like the line that Ashley Blake was taking. Karina kind of kept it pinned all the way to the white line going through the turn. The 52 of Ashley Blake has a much better line around this racetrack, and it is paying off.
She is not losing time. She's gaining time on Jake Sidney, albeit marginal time, but she's still keeping pace with the 19. The 41 seems to be fading a little bit. Again, I wonder if she was banking on trying to get by the 19 on that restart, and so she kind of used up her tires too much, and now she's starting to fall back a bit. But I really like what Ashley Blake is doing. Your analysis there, Josh, was very good, the line analysis. I was looking at the same thing. Ashley Blake's definitely got this track down in terms of lines, and she might get an opportunity here to close in on the 19 because the 65 of Tamarin Bellinger, the last car on the lead lap, is right in front of Jake Sidney now, so they could give Jake Sidney some issues here, and that could allow Ashley Blake to close in a little bit. It's been about 1.2 seconds for the last few laps, but things could change here if Sidney struggles to get past the 65 car.
Yeah, Bellinger's turning into a serial roadblock, looking to claim the next victim. And the next victim looks like it's potentially going to be Jake Sidney. Got bit Michael Harvin earlier. Sidney has caught the 65. Down to the inside. Not going to be the easiest overtake for Jake Sidney, as Bellinger fires it back on the outside ever so slightly, at least as much as that makeshift modified can. Sidney is able to get around and clear the 65 of Tamarin Bellinger. We'll see what luck Ashley Blake has when they get there.
Yeah, Ashley Blake gained quite a bit of time, about half a second on the 19, but the problem now is that Blake now has to deal with Tamarin Bellinger. And we'll see if Ashley Blake will be able to get underneath, wasting no time to be aggressive here in turn number 1, but she's going to get held up in the corner. And that's going to cost her some of that time that she just gained on Jake Sidney. She's going to have to get around Bellinger right here, and it looks like she might be able to. Bellinger fighting back. But Blake looks like she's going to clear off of 4. We'll see what the damage is there, and it evened out. All of that, and it just evened out. In fact, Jake Sidney gained about a 10th in that whole exchange. Going to be a little easier for Karina Willis-Callaway, though, because Tamarin was already up on the outside lane, so that's going to allow Karina to get a little bit closer to Ashley Blake here. But we are approaching pit stops here soon. I'm not entirely sure when they're going to start pitting, but I imagine it won't be too far out from now, considering we've gone quite a few laps, about 30 laps in this run, so I imagine we'll be seeing them hit the pits here very soon.
Yeah, they're going to get as much out of these tires as they can, but they literally can come down whenever. We're already past halfway through this race, and I would, the first thing you think, oh, the person that pits first is going to be the beneficiary. They're going to have the best track position by the time everything cycles through. Not necessarily. If you come down too early and you're out there on your clean tires while somebody, say, goes another 15-20 laps, well, they're going to have 15-20 lap fresher tires when they finally cycle through. Of course, the flip side of the coin there is that car with fresher tires ideally is going to be faster than that car that stays out longer. But of course, this is a short track, and it is not a big high-speed track where it may be easier to overtake it. Now, we've seen a lot of passing here, of course, but it is not the easiest thing in the world. This is a one-groove racetrack. You're seeing a lot of difficulty when you get to drivers. It's, we always say it, it's one thing to get to a driver, it's a whole other thing to pass them, and that is the case here at Evergreen Speedway. So you're just gonna watch for that first car that comes in, and as soon as we see the first one go in, then they'll all come in.
Jake Sidney has pulled out to a 1.9 almost second lead over the last few laps. He has started running away, and I imagine Sidney is definitely a lot better on the longer runs, as we've seen. Because in the first few laps, first 20 laps of the run, the 52 and the 41 were able to keep up, but now the 19's really starting to set sail here. I think if you're Ashley Blake or Karina Willis Calloway, I think you consider maybe trying to get to the window where you can make it and then coming in there. I would not. I would definitely try to leapfrog Jake Sidney in that way initially because I believe that the track position is going to be a little bit more valuable on a track like this. I don't think we're going to be seeing any 15 to 20 lap spreads like you said, Josh, but just a couple of laps could be the difference here. Is that what Blake's going to do here? It is. She's doing exactly what I thought she should do. And here she comes, lap number 68. That is a scheduled pit stop. And oh, look out behind! Damon Kirby's into the wall!
No!
Is that going to bring out the yellow? If that does, that is going to completely mess up Ashley Blake's strategy.
Oh,
and
no.
I think the caution is out. Yes, it is.
It is. Where's her pit stall, though? That's going to be the real ticker here. It's going to be the
Right
real
here.
kicker. It's past the start-finish line. But,
and they put
of course,
her lap
they
down.
still have to come back around. Thought, well, if you get out quick enough, but yeah, there they go. They have to come back around, so
And
she's going to fall a lap down anyway.
That was a drawback to the undercut that I was going to mention, is that if a caution happens while you're in the pits, then you will almost certainly go a lap down, and that is what's happened to Ashley Blake. Tough luck for the 52 there. And everyone else is going to come in there. You saw it in the background. Damon Kirby got spun in turn 4. And here we go. Everyone else is going to come in. And this might be the money stop here. We're coming on 40 laps to go. I imagine they'll be able to make it to the end from here, so it's going to come down to the pit stops here. Pit road's pretty tight, so you'll have some minor collisions, but none to cause any significant damage. Kobe Hollenbeck is out already. Did they take a splash and dash? They didn't do anything in the pits, actually, it looks like. So he just came in there for fun. He's going to get out with the lead, but I imagine he's still going to have to pit. That's
yeah, no kidding.
curious.
That was... I have no idea what Kobe Hollenbeck was doing. Probably just threw the entire race away. I don't know what strategist they've got. Is it from the Ferrari F1 team? Because that's the only thing that makes sense with that. I have no clue what they're doing there.
Fortunately for Ashley Blake, it looks like since she is leading the line here, she will get waved around and will get back on the lead lap. Tamarin Bellinger will get the free pass for the second time today, so Bellinger will also get back on the lead lap. And there's Damon Kirby, and it's such a shame. He was running inside the top 15, needed something good, anything good to happen to him, and then that happens. So you got to feel bad for the rookie driver. It's not been a good season whatsoever for Damon Kirby. But he's still in the race at least, which is better than a few drivers, that's for sure. Well,
for sure.
Well, that's our third caution of the day, and it happens right at the start of the pit cycle. We're going to show you what happened to Damon Kirby, and then we'll get back to the restart here at the Evergreen Speedway. Well, here's what brought out our third caution of the day. Jack Gino getting way too aggressive in turn 4. It almost looked like an intent wreck, honestly. I'm not sure what he was doing. I don't know if there was more context for that afterwards, but he just absolutely sends Damon Kirby, who was having a great day today, into the outside wall. Looks like the 77 also got the outside wall, trying to avoid that, but man, Damon Kirby, that was clearly, there was nothing he could do there. He just got ran over, and that was completely unnecessary by Jack Gino. No idea what got him to do that. And, that's going to damage Damon Kirby's car, obviously. That's going to ruin his good day. It's also going to ruin Ashley Blake's day because she was in the pits when that happened, so she's going to get trapped a lap down. And it's just, rubbing is encouraged sometimes on the short tracks. That's just part of what it is. But that wasn't just rubbing. That was a wreck. And that was, Gino definitely crossed the line there. And that's a real act of a champion, as they say.
So as they come through turn 3 and 4, leaning on him, leaning on him, and does not let Damon Kirby go. No breaks whatsoever. All take, no give. Credit to Darren Walker for somehow making it through there, but that is a hard hit for Damon Kirby on the outside. And those are the hits, again, like I mentioned earlier. You don't want to take those hits no matter how fast you're going. You hit and you come to a dead stop. That's what Damon Kirby did. Jack Gino better look over his shoulder. He's going to need some security coming out of Evergreen Speedway tonight. That was a frankly uncalled for. I know the bumpers come out on short tracks, but come on, that kind of stuff is just uncalled for.
And I'd like to play Damon Kirby's radio communications afterwards, but standards and practices won't let us. So I guess you guys will get to see that after the race. So
The FCC would have a coronary. I'll just put it that way.
yeah, definitely.
If you want to know what he said, go to ask Matt Crafton.
Welcome back at Evergreen Speedway. Wrapping up our third caution of the day. About to go to lap number 75. Get back to the restart. Kobe Hollenbeck is your leader, but I imagine he's going to come in and pit on the next lap because they didn't do any services on his car in the pits. So Jake Sidney is effectively the leader here. Karina Willis-Callaway is in third. Jacob Lopez fourth. Michael Harvin, good recovery for him, up in fifth despite the damage. And we're going to get back racing here on lap number 75 of 109.
Terrible launch.
Oh my goodness. Jake Sidney passed him before they even got to turn one.
That was an unbelievably, again, that was ridiculous. I don't know why they did nothing in the pits. And now he's going to have to come into the pits anyway. Unbelievably
And he's going to stack
stupid.
everyone up behind him. And they're going to go 3 wide. Darren Walker.
That's unbelievably stupid. Somebody's getting fired this week for that. And they should absolutely be at least suspended for a few races, whoever's call that was. That was ridiculous. But look at the battle here for second. Jacob Lopez down to the inside. Karina Willis-Callaway, that's for second. He'll take the point.
Yep, P2 there for Jacob Lopez. Holly Martin is moved up to fourth. Adrian Wheeler up to fifth. And Tim Barry up to sixth. This is what he does. Sometimes he doesn't qualify the best, but he always manages to find his way up here. Akiya Tajima and JT Boyd. I mean, we're seeing a lot of guys that we have not seen up in the top 10 all race long, and now all of a sudden they're up here. So, oh my goodness, more cars are pitting.
Boy.
The 55, the 92.
Oh, look out.
The caution is out for something.
Oh, it is.
The caution is out for something. I'm not sure what, but we are under caution.
Spinner that didn't hit a thing, I would have to guess. Right there, and
it
well,
might have
we'll
been.
wait and see the replay.
Harvin might have had something to do with it. I mean, it looked like he was coming out of the pits, but he could have just spun down there. I'm not sure. Ooh, split strategy.
Pits, was that Barry I saw going into the pits?
Where is Tim Barry?
He
is pitting as well.
Car.
He is pitting.
There he is.
So is Walker and Cooper Spur, and I saw Jack Gino go down there as well. So we're having some split strategy here, but they're all splash and goes.
So that begs the question: is Sydney and this bunch good to the end?
That is interesting. I'm not sure.
I mean, if we have a whole bunch of more cautions and they're just cruising like at this speed, then yeah, of course they'll be good to the end. But you know, they need something. They need some like act of God for that to happen. This has been a mostly clean race. I know this is our fourth caution flag, and we're coming to lap 80 now. But this has been a mostly clean affair here. Like, not that the damaged race cars on the track. We just had, like, when they've had incidents, it's been more cars
skid
than
marks.
you could
I see skid marks on the front stretch, so I think Michael Harvin might have spun out on the front stretch and brought out the yellow.
Possibly, yes.
And because he's the first one a lap down, he will not be eligible for the free pass. So he's going to stay a lap down, and so are all the other cars that are currently a lap down.
And if that was the case with him, that would explain why everybody else was so stacked up there on the front straightaway and right at pit exit. That
Yeah,
was
I thought they were
very
just pitting.
peculiar look.
I thought they were pitting for no reason, but I think some of them were. The 16 and 92 came back in, it looks like. Not sure what's going on with the pit strategy here today. I think the crew chiefs have lost their minds, quite frankly. But fourth caution of the day on lap number 80 of 109. We're going to show you the replay of what happened to Michael Harvin, and then we'll get back to the restart here at Evergreen. So as some cars were coming in and pitting, Billy Smith got spun out by Cooper Spur down the front stretch, and that's what brought out our mystery caution. Wasn't quite sure what it was there. I thought maybe it was Michael Harvin that brought it out, but Harvin was in the pits. And we had a bit of a brouhaha at the end of the pit lane, I believe, after that happened, between the 55, the 92, and a couple of the others. No, there really was no brouhaha. They were just exiting the pits. I guess I was a little too quick to assume that. But regardless, Billy Smith was the one that brought out the caution, our fourth caution of the race. And thankfully, no damage on there. Definitely ended better for him than it did for Damon Kirby when he got spun in turn 4. But still just more over-aggression there by Cooper Spur. And Billy Smith really couldn't have done anything about that.
Well, here's Cooper Spur doing his usual dump and run. This time the victim is Billy Smith on the front straightaway. A little loop there, a little more than 360, but able to just put it back in gear and go. He's not going to be happy with Cooper Spur at all, and he'll join a long list of that, because Cooper Spur, of course, got a bit of a reputation out there. He's not always the cleanest driver in the field, and, well, just took out another victim there for Patriot Racing Incorporated.
Welcome back here at the Evergreen Speedway, wrapping up our fourth caution of the day. No one was taken out due to the accident. I'm not even sure who the one that spun out was, but you'll have just seen that on the replay. But what is interesting is we now have 4 cars who are 1 lap down, and all of them appear to be up to speed. They all pitted under green, I believe. Harvin might have spun out, though, and we weren't sure, so we didn't give him the free pass. But this is going to make things interesting here for Jake Sidney, Jacob Lopez, and the rest of the top 5, because now we've got these cars that are up to speed on the inside that are going to interfere with this battle. The green flag is back in the air, and we are back racing here on lap number 83, and as you can see, they are up to speed, so this will make things interesting for this battle for the lead, as they're all going to start on the outside, and it's going to be a mad dash to get to the inside, and it looks like Adrian Wheeler was the first one to do it. We'll see if he can ride the train all the way to the lead from there.
Oh, Callaway clears, tried to get to the inside, was not able to. Wells Callaway slides back behind the 50 of Jacob Lopez and gets run up by Adrian Wheeler. Jacob Lopez does, all the way down to the inside, and outside there of the 92 is our race leader,
Oh, he goes
Jake
way
Sidney.
up the racetrack.
Here comes the 40.
Caution is out. Caution's out again. We have another accident, and it's Billy Smith.
Oh, it's the 88.
Looks
just
like it's
when
just
it looked
him.
just when it looked like Wheeler was going to have a shot to get around
They're
Sidney,
still racing
who
back.
go
They're
back
still
under
racing
yellow, and he's still not going to get around him. But he'll have Corbin Taps right in between them. So the 92 will come around. Kate Summers will come around. The 55 of Harvin will come around and get back on the lead lap.
And Corbin Taps will get the free pass, so he will also get back on the lead lap. But things were getting really interesting there. Jake Sidney absolutely had a terrible 1 and 2 there. But the caution came out at just the right time for Jake Sidney, and Wheeler was unable to get under him. I think if that had kept going green for a couple more laps, we'd have a new leader. But Jake Sidney continuing his masterclass here. But I do think he's under threat, because these guys, are definitely not slow behind them. So I think we have yet to see what Wheeler has for the leaders. He's been kind of running in the back half of the top 10. This is the highest we've seen him. So Adrian Wheeler, who is 24th in points right now, looking for what could be a big win.
See what Sydney can do here on this restart. It's going to be complicated again with more lap traffic on the inside, though. I don't know how many lap cars are actually left. We got the 16 of taps there. I think most, if not. So we got the 16, we got the 79, and the 88. 88's going to be out of the race. Yes,
Yeah,
indeed.
I saw the black smoke of death come out of his car.
Billy Smith will fall out. Kobe Hollenbeck is going to be up to speed. So
I think Hollenbeck will be the only lapped car because the 16 will get the free pass and get back on the lead lap.
Sydney can't let his guard down just yet. He got really, really loose in that corner right before we got him to get. I thought Wheeler was going to get around. He slid out. If he can keep his car under him and not slide out like a Polaroid picture again, he should be good to the end. We'll see what he looks like for these last 20 laps.
Yeah, we're going to show the replay of what happened to Billy Smith to bring out caution number 5. I believe that is a caution record for the season. And we'll get back to the restart once again. Hopefully the final restart, but certainly could not be. We'll see. And we'll get back to racing here at Evergreen Speedway. Well, the 5th caution of the day was another spin cycle by Billy Smith. Unfortunately, this one damaged his car quite a bit, and that was a hard hit into the inside wall. He just got hooked there by the 6 of Holly Martin. Mine came down a little bit, but really Holly shouldn't have been that close to begin with, so that was mostly on Holly Martin. But yeah, that's unfortunate for Billy Smith. He has not had a good last few weeks. He's not had a good summer in general, and it's just only going to get worse because that's the smoke of death coming out of his car. So we know his race is done, and just a shame for Billy Smith. Can't buy a break. Ever since I want to say ever since Iowa, just nothing good has been happening to that 88 car.
Again, an unnecessary takeout here. Holly Martin just cleans out Billy Smith. That's a hard hit to the inside, and that will knock the 88 out. Just complete. I don't know if it was misjudgment on Holly Martin trying to, thinking she was clear, but a completely avoidable contact. Absolutely just a mistake by Holly Martin. I guess I'm sure she didn't do it on purpose, but that's just something we've seen tonight again and again and again. Yeah, honestly, on that same end of the racetrack, we've seen it 3 times now. So I don't know what the deal is with 3 and 4, but again, vicious incident on the front straightaway, and poor Billy Smith not going to live to see the end of this race.
Welcome back here at the Evergreen Speedway. We are going to have, I believe, 19 laps to go next time by. Jake Sidney is your leader. Adrian Wheeler is in 2nd. Karina Willis-Callaway in 3rd. And then it's Jacob Lopez and Akia Tajima rounding out the top 5. Kobe Hollenbeck, the last lap car left to worry about. But he's going to start inside of Jake Sidney here, and he is up to speed. So things could get interesting here at the front. Sidney got lucky last time that Wheeler wasn't able to get to him. Will he get lucky again? He's going to have to nail this restart here. We are back racing here at Evergreen. And Hollenbeck's going to wash up the track. Jake Sidney's not able to get down. Will Wheeler be able to take advantage here on this lap? He's going to look to the inside. Oh, yeah, they're going to go 3
what
wide.
In the world? 3 wide. Hollenbeck is slow on the inside.
Sidney almost into the wall on the exit of the corner. And it looks like Wheeler might be able to get the lead. Karina Willis-Callaway went way wide as well. But to the race lead is Adrian Wheeler. He's still side by side with Sidney, though. He's got his teammate Jacob Lopez behind him to try and help. Sidney hanging tough on that outside lane, but I don't know how long he can do that for.
He's not going to gain anything as long as he's up there. Look at how far Karina Willis-Callaway's already slipped backwards. As the 40 of Adrian Wheeler goes to the lead, That's Jacob Lopez
Jacob
rather, down
Lopez.
there inside 99 of Akira Tajima, right in behind. Haven't hardly talked about Akira Tajima at all tonight. Now threatening to move into a podium spot, but the 19 of Jake Sidney finally is going to be able to pin the thing down to the inside, see if he can get back
will he
around.
though?
Oh man, no. He slides out again like that. He slides out of that Polaroid camera that's the inside lane, but is he able to recover and stay ahead of the 99? See if he can get back around the 50 as Adrian Wheeler is comfortably in the lead for the time being, because I think he knows what I think is getting ready to happen. Sydney is about to put the chrome horn to Jacob Lopez heading into this turn.
And Jacob Lopez is going to be blocking for his teammate here, trying to get Motor Racing Ventures their second win of the season. Lopez got them their first one at Coda, but that race was shortened due to a game crash. So, Motor Racing Ventures is going to want to get a win where they end up actually running the whole distance. So, but Lopez is doing a good job playing defense for Wheeler here. But Wheeler can't really pull ahead. I think are we under yellow again? No, they just had a slow corner. Here comes Sidney down to the inside. He's going to dive bomb it into turn 3. He wants to get the lead back after all of that. He's going to have to work for it, though. He's gotten past Lopez. Will he be able to get by Wheeler? He's looking to the inside, but Wheeler's going to block him.
All over the backside of that 40 is Jake Sidney. Slips up a little bit on the corner exit. Dives it back in as Akita Tajima goes after the 50 of Jacob Lopez. Down all over the backside again of Adrian Wheeler is Sidney. Around for 11 laps to go. Sidney a little lower into turn 1 and 2 that time. Lower all the way down to the white line. Slips up. Dives into the turn. Here we go. Beautiful driving by Sidney. Beautiful
after
line.
All of that, he might get the lead back after all. Wheeler's fighting back on the outside. Akira Tajima's hoping they fight for a little longer so he can catch up. But after losing the lead because of the lap car, Herndon slides up the track. Lopez slides up the track. But out in front, Jake Sidney will complete the pass. But was that the last move from Adrian Wheeler? We'll have to see. We are approaching 9 laps to go, but I tell you what, that 19 is gapping Adrian Wheeler here. We know that car is fast. And we'll see if he can drive away from the 40 here in the closing stages of the race and right off into the sunset here at Evergreen.
That's a beautiful line that Jake Sidney is taking. As I mentioned earlier with, I believe it was Jacob Lopez, higher in, down to the line, or Ashley Blake, higher in, onto the apex, higher off, out of the corner. You carry more speed out of corner, and he is doing that, pulling well ahead of the 40 of Adrian Wheeler. Now coming around to start lap 103, 7 laps to go in this one.
The thing is, though, Sidney can't quite pull as far ahead as he's been able to because the 79 is in front of him. So we'll have to see if maybe these guys will get one more chance at him as this race winds down. But the more the laps tick away, the less of a chance they're going to have. And Sidney continues to gap Adrian Wheeler here. Tajima and Herndon, the past 2 winners at this track, both sitting in 3rd and 4th here. George Bryan's looking for a good points day here. JT Boyd looking for a much-needed top 5 to turn around his season. Kaleo Connie is looking for an excellent top 10. And how about the rebound from Ashley Blake, who is back up into the top 10 and still looking for positions here. And Rhea Wickham also driving for a top 10 for the Martin Swain Racing team. This will be the first time this team gets a top 10 this season. So a lot of great stories up here in the top 10. And Jake Sidney has gotten past Kobe Hollenbeck. Now he's got a lapped car between himself and second, and we're at the point of no return where if a caution comes out, the race will be over. So as long as Sidney keeps his car under him for just 3.5 more laps, Jake Sidney's going to have his second win of the season.
And a rookie. Jake Sidney comes in 12th in the championship standings, 149 points behind Tim Berry. And Barry struggles. I know he's got a 2-race worth of point lead as the 39 and 99 go at it for 3rd. That's going to go the way of Lincoln Herndon, but a boost of confidence for sure for Jake Sidney, 2 laps away from victory.
And he has 2 career wins already. He won the season finale back at Auto Club driving an extra car for Hudson Motorsports. And then he won the Lumen 500. And now he's getting ready to get win number 3 of his career in just a short time span. It has been incredible watching what Jake Sidney's been able to do in this car. White flag in the air. 1 lap to go for the rookie. Cooper Spurs coming down the pits. Not sure what the issue is on that car, but evidently something went wrong for him. But things are going all right for Jake Sidney. He was the dominant car here today, lost the lead late in the race, and was able to get it back. Rounding turn number 4, Jake Sidney, win number 2 of the season, win number 3 of his career, and he is going to take the checkered flag here at Evergreen.
Fabulous drive, fabulous race by Jake Sidney. Perfectly executed, slipped back, didn't let it get in his head, fought and clawed his way back to the front, comes out with the victory. Couldn't ask for a better driver to drive that 19. I know that's how Hudson Motorsports feels. They have their guy. Fantastic driving by Jake Sidney.
I know second place is not what Adrian Wheeler was looking for in terms of that battle. Maybe thought he had that win in the bag there, but that's still a great run for him. Definitely, he's been struggling this season as well, so he definitely needed a run like that. Gonna export the results here, so a lot of good runs here in the in the top 10, and we basically pointed them all out here right at the end of that run. But I mean, Adrian Wheeler, that's a great run for him. The Columbia Motorsports teammates 3rd and 4th, Herndon 3rd, Tajima 4th, JT Boyd needed that run. Kaleo Connie, Ashley Blake, and Rhea Wickham all get top 10s today. Great runs for all of them, although in Blake's case, definitely thinking she could have had more. Had that caution not come out when she was in the pits, she could have had a chance at the win, but still, 9th place is definitely great for her in that race team. And, she's had a couple of them slip away already. So it makes me think Blake is really starting to turn a corner in this season. I wouldn't be surprised to see her win a race later in the season if she keeps this up. But no, she's going to have to settle for 9th for now. Again, not a bad run, but you got to think she maybe would have won it better. Rhea Wickham, 10th place in this car is absolutely outstanding for Rhea Wickham. So even though she's struggling in the amateur series, she's still getting some good runs done here in the Cup Series. Kaleo Connie in the top 10. Again, that's a car that we don't really expect to be up towards the front very much, but P7 for him is outstanding. Tim Berry finished 19th, so that is by far his worst finish of the season. But the only one that's really going to be able to take advantage of that is George Bryan, who ended up with a 6th place finish here today, because most of the drivers that were chasing Tim Berry ended up down here. And you can see the 10 cars that were unable to finish due to various accidents throughout the race, mainly from the first 2. And, that's the benefit for Tim Berry having a huge points lead. He can have an off day like this. This is really the first off day that he's had all year. And it isn't really going to hurt him that much, because most of his championship rivals also had bad days, save for the 3 cars. So that's the benefit you get for having that big cushion. 22 cars finished on the lead lap, 25 finished the race. Well, Josh, can you give us a rundown of the race and what did you think of it? And maybe give us a preview for next week's race, which is going to be at the Pocono Raceway.
This was a fabulous race. Like you said, not a whole lot of lead changes. Well, more than I expected coming in. I thought this was going to be a runaway, but there was plenty of action all throughout the field. Lots of battling, lots of comers and goers. Just fabulous stuff here at Evergreen. Really have a winner here for the Pacific Northwest. Would love to see some bigger races come to this racetrack. This seems like a phenomenal little short track up here in the Pacific Northwest. But for Pocono, real quick before I move on to that, congratulations one more time to Jake Sidney and Adrian Wheeler. Do not hang your head. You ran one heck of a race, and you should absolutely be proud of yourself. Same for Lake and Hearn, Akira Dejima, and JT Boyd coming out of here with a phenomenal run here at Evergreen. For Pocono, though, oh baby. That is going to be a very interesting race for sure. It's a very unique racetrack. It's 3 turns. It's not an oval. It's all left turns, but it's 3 different corners, and each one of them is different. You have to get your you have to get the tunnel turn right there. If you don't get that right, you screw up your entire lap. At least if you mess up turn one, hey, you've got a long straightaway between turn one and turn two before you got to get down into that tunnel turn. Like I said, you got to get that thing right. It's a short little straightaway between turns 2 and 3, and you've got to really set that thing up if you're gonna get some speed on that long straightaway. That front straightaway at Pocono is about a mile long. You're gonna see a lot of race car driving there. Handling is going to be one of the biggest things there. Tires, one of the biggest things. Fuel, oh yeah, we're gonna hear about fuel at Pocono as well. Every single series, every single year you go to Pocono, everything is on the table. It is going to be a very, very interesting race to say the least, especially depending on where or if the cautions fall in that one. Certainly going to be an interesting race, and I hope y'all are looking forward to it too. It's going to be one heck of a thing to look forward to.
Sounds like you're pretty hyped about that race. I am too. Last year that race was pretty good. We had AG in the booth for that race last year. Not sure if we're gonna have him back for this season, at least for that race, but still gonna be an exciting race regardless. And this was a pretty good race here at Evergreen as well. One more congratulations to Jake Sidney and Hudson Motorsports. Hudson Motorsports 4 wins this year. And between them and McPicky Motorsports, they've won 9 of the 13 races, so they've definitely proven to be the 2 top teams here this season. But yeah, Jake Sidney's been very impressive this season, and I expect some big things from this driver going forward. Well, that's gonna do it for today's broadcast. Uh, Thank you, Josh, for coming up here and calling this race. It's always nice having you in the booth, and hopefully we can have you for a couple more races this year. And on behalf of Josh Williamson and the Left Turn Network, this is Brennan Wilmington signing out. Here are your point standings after race number 13 of the season, which will be on your screen right now.